Welcome to the Losing Streak, a sports gambling podcast for those who just can't seem to win. My name is Bozo Bill, and I'm here with my co-host, Automatic Austin.
How's it going, everybody?
Well, let's get right into it. So if you listened to last episode about Jake Paul, I'm sorry if you took the bets or took my advice. I originally wasn't going to bet on the fight because I thought it was Saturday night, and I was like, I can't bet on it in New Jersey and New York because of the regulators thought it was a suspicious fight, and so I found out I'd have to go to Connecticut to do it. And I thought it was going to be Saturday night. I had some other events that we'll talk about. So I woke up Sunday and I was like, okay, it's not till Sunday afternoon, so let's try it. So I literally drove to Connecticut, placed bets on Jake Paul to win straight up, hedged it with him winning by decision and knockout. And it's the first thing when I got home, my son Mika asked me, he says, you hedged it, right, with the other guy to win by decision, just in case? And I was like, I probably should have, but I can't because, you can't bet on New York. And then that's exactly what happened. So yeah, I am like the ultimate bozo now. I cross state lines to lose money. But we did get
like
good.
Mattress Mac. You Mattress Macked it.
Yeah, I even tweeted about that morning and said I'm going to pull a Mattress Mac. So I'll have to retweet that and just maybe that can become an infamous tweet of how stupid I was. But the good news was we did get delicious lobster rolls, and we found a good source for fish that's only like 30 minutes outside of New York City. So it's not bad.
So there's a positive in there.
And the dogs got to go to a nice dog park near where my wife grew up, and Vinny and Reek had a great day. So
that's good.
Yeah. Did you watch the fight at all?
I didn't. I actually fell asleep. I took a nap because it was Sunday afternoon, and I honestly forgot about it. So I woke up though, and yeah, you told me that Jake Paul lost, which was kind of a surprise because it just felt like it was all set up for a Paul win, and obviously it didn't go that way. So I'm sure a lot of people lost money. I don't know, but
yeah, I bet against him many times, and then the one time I bet on him, he loses. So that just should show my curse. But no, it was like a legitimate boxing fight. Like obviously Jake Paul set it up. It was the lowest he's at, or it was the heaviest. Oh, wait, what was it? He had to cut weight for the weight, and Tommy Fury had to put on weight. So he definitely had more size. He even had the speed. Like Tommy Fury wasn't that much faster than him. And
right.
but I mean, he's a trained boxer, and it was a pretty even.
He comes from a boxing family, doesn't he?
Yeah. His brother is the world heavyweight champion.
Okay.
His half brother. So that name, scared a lot of people. They're like, oh, well, Jake Paul can't beat a Fury, but this guy like literally he'd only beat two people with winning records before. And his 4 knockouts were against the guys, But the thing that also kind of paused me from betting on it, and I wish I would have listened to my internal monologue, was Jason Ellis, who I listened to. He's a big, boxing MMA fan. He said he went back and watched some of those old fights, and he's like, I'm not saying Tommy Fury is a great boxer, but he's definitely like a quality fighter. Like it definitely was a good matchup. And during one of the rounds, right at the end, Tommy hit Jake Paul in the back of the head, and they called like a timeout. They separated them, and then they ended the round. But the next round, when they clinched in, Jake Paul got an incidental punch to the back of his head, and then they deducted a point from him, which pretty much screwed him. In boxing, if you lose a point, you're pretty much done. So it was a split decision. He lost it. I'm sure Jake Paul will be back. Sadly, I don't like the guy, but whatever. He proved to the world that he. Yeah. And the thing that ticked me off the most was I watched the main event that led into it, and had I known about that one, I would have bet on the underdog all day because this dude was like a former champion. He was getting rematched. Like it was the first time a Muslim guy was fighting for like that won a championship on like Muslim soil and stuff. It all added up for the underdog guy to win, and then he beat the hell out of the champion guy. So whatever.
So interesting day of boxing.
Yeah. And that was not the only thing I did this weekend. So Friday night, I got to go to, thank the Caesars, I got to go to a Knicks. It's their golden anniversary for the championship team 50 years ago. So they had, a bunch of the old guys there. They had some other, they didn't have any of the current Knicks because they were playing a game at the time. But yeah, so Friday night I got to hang out. I got to meet who was I? There actually was a raffle. So this is sponsored by Caesars. I brought my friend and I brought my wife, and we all entered separate raffles, and we all won. And yeah, so I won I won a signed copy of. It was Dick Barnett jersey. I got to take a picture with him. I'll post that up on the Twitter. Yeah, he was pretty old though, man. I felt bad. He like didn't even know like where to look for the camera.
Oh, but well, you said it was the 72, 73 team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're all probably what, like 70, 80?
Yeah, I didn't know one of the guys. He was a New Jersey senator, man. And so he wasn't there the Friday night, but he came on, like, not current senator, but Bill Braxton. Yeah, he was there on Saturday. So then I also got to go Saturday before the game. They had like a little meet and greet thing, with some of them. Who was Ashad? What's his name? Rashad Ahmad? Is that his name? The announcer guy? He used to play.
That sounds right, I think.
He used to play in the NFL, and so he did a little interview with Bill Braxton, Jerry Lucas, and then Walt Frazier, and that was really cool. So we just got to like sit right up in front and just listen to him talk. And then obviously the Knicks killed the Pelicans during the game. We got to sit up in the suite. So I want to thank Caesars for that. Yeah, that was a great time. I really enjoyed it.
Did all the players, were they in the suite watching the game with you guys?
They were not, no. They did like a thing at halftime to kind of celebrate them, but they were somewhere else. I don't know where they were at. But tomorrow night though, I get to go to another event, which it's supposed to be like for charity. So I'm assuming the tickets were at least like $500 a piece, and Caesars got us access to that. So I'll get to. They said no autographs on this one, but I don't care. I don't want autographs. But I'll get to meet the current Knicks players. It's pretty cool.
And then what autographs did you say you got in the?
Oh yeah, so I got a signed Dick Barnett jersey. The basketball we won was what's the guy's name? He was for the Hornets. I already told you about this guy. He played for the Hornets for a long time, and then Larry Johnson, right? Yeah, Larry Johnson. So he was there too. I got to meet him. Yeah, he was pretty cool. I got to meet who's the other guy I got to meet? Marcus Camby. You know?
Okay, yeah, I remember him.
Yeah. And it was funny. So I didn't know. He just said, "Hi, my name's Marcus," and it didn't click to me who he was yet. And I was like, "Oh, were you on the team too?" He's like, "Man, do I look that old?" And I was like, "You never know, man. You never know. Some guys look really good.
That's
when
funny.
They're old."
Yeah.
But I wear size 15 shoes, so I got to joke with him because that was my intro line to him. I was like, "So do you have trouble finding shoes?" And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "What size shoes do you wear?" He's like, 15. I was like, "Shit, so do I." So we got to bond about it. He thought I was funny. I was talking to him about size 15 shoes. But yeah, that was a exciting weekend.
Yeah, it sounds like a great weekend. I haven't done anything like that in forever, so that's exciting.
And I was making money on games until, I blew it on the Jake Paul thing, but that's all right. It was profit for fun, trying to double up everything, but you know how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, just didn't fall your way. It's all good.
So what do we think about college this last weekend? I know you have some words to say about a certain team with
man.
a certain team from Indiana that's not the Hoosiers.
Yeah, the Hoosiers beat them. Purdue really fucked me this weekend, I'll say. Indiana beat them earlier in the year. I really felt like Purdue was gonna beat them at home. They were up 4 at halftime, and even then, I just had this weird feeling that like the Boilermakers were gonna blow it, and then of course they did, and oh my gosh, it was really frustrating to watch that game. And I would have been up.
What was the final score of that game?
79-71, Indiana won.
Yeah, I didn't even watch it, man. I'm sorry to hear about that. It was ugly.
I mean, they were up 4 at half, so I was like, okay, they were fine, and then they just couldn't play. Oh, they just couldn't hit a shot. I think I sent you that stat. They were like 4 from 22 from 3.
Was it like foul trouble or like what happened? Or they just couldn't shoot?
No, they just could not hit a shot. So they were 5 from 23 from 3-point range, 22%. They were 35% overall, 67% from the free throw line, 10 turnovers. I mean, they played like shit. Like, I mean, they out rebounded them 44-29. They had more steals, less fouls. Like they just couldn't hit a shot. Indiana hit 51%, 47% from the 3, and that's what won the game.
They got 15 more rebounds and they still lost.
Yes.
That is
Well, you
ridiculous.
see how many total I mean, Purdue only ended up with only two more field goal attempts, but still, I mean, you're not going to win many games shooting 35% from the field. So
Well, if
I
you're a
feel bad
Purdue,
for anybody who has stock in Purdue because they are not going to go far in this tournament. I'll tell you that.
well,
I mean, it's not even an overreaction because it's been for the last month or two. Like, if you can stop Zach Edey, they cannot hit 3-point shots consistently.
so what I will say though is if you are a Purdue fan or you are worried about Purdue, you'd much rather this happen right now than in the Big Ten tournament or even in the NCAA tournament. So if they have any hope, this will be kind of like a come to Jesus moment. Like hopefully they kind of
Get their shit together.
Yeah, get smoked all week in practice.
Yeah, it was just an ugly game. And I was watching, they literally were bricking. Like there was one possession where they got 3 offensive rebounds and they just break 3 straight threes. And I was just like, oh my, like it was.
That's what I was asking about the rebounds, man. Because I watched some of these games this weekend, and it's like I watched a team miss like 3 shots and get offensive rebounds, and it's just like you can't win if. Like if they're going to keep shooting on offensive rebounds, you're going to lose because they'll eventually make a shot.
Right. And it's just so funny how college basketball works like that. Like a team can literally like be on fire in the first half, shoot 60%. In the second half, they can go on a cold spell and not make a shot for 8 minutes. Like it's just so crazy how college basketball is.
Yeah.
Like I was watching, what game was I watching? It was at Texas A&M Mississippi State. In the second half, Texas A&M didn't score for the last 10 minutes of the game. They made free throws, but they didn't make a field goal like in play for the last 10 minutes of the game. It was crazy.
It's crazy, man. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, but sometimes that's just the way it goes. When a 6-point dog, and right before tip, I'm pretty sure it went up to like 8. When an 8-point favorite doesn't win, it's just like, man, it's just so unlucky sometimes. And then the game right before that, Friday night, I had Grand Canyon, who was a 6-point favorite at home, and they lost by 11. And I was just like, ugh.
The team that scored like 120 on somebody else, didn't they like destroy somebody?
Yeah, no, Grand Canyon is usually really good at home. They I tweeted it out. They have one of the best student sections. Like if you watch any of their games, like they are a packed arena every time. Like it's a new campus. Like everybody goes there. And what's funny about Grand Canyon University is that like it's new, but the ghetto surrounds Grand Canyon. So you'll be on this nice ass campus, and then you'll leave and you'll be like in the ghetto. It's pretty funny.
All right. Any other games that you? Oh, what about the Arizona State game? Arizona.
Oh yeah.
Did you have any money on that?
I did.
Did that affect?
Sorry,
did that affect the line on that? Other than like, I don't remember what the original.
because ASU was an 11-point dog, so it didn't really affect much. But
unless you got money line.
Yeah, exactly. I was pretty bummed I didn't have any say in that game because I'm obviously in Arizona. But yeah, it was cool to see ASU hit a half court buzzer because they might not even make the tournament. So we'll see though.
And then yesterday, I know you saw what happened to Wisconsin, but man, what was funny is right when they were taking up the half court, they were saying, you got to foul, they're down 3, don't even give them a chance.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't understand. Like don't let them, just foul them.
And dude, they passed it in, and then this guy, I don't remember who it was, man, but he got a block, I think, on the last drive too. And he was literally probably like 5 feet away from the guy. And he did a full jump and he blocked in the corner, blocked it out of bounds, like them trying to shoot a 3 at the end. And then so he blocked out of bounds. They got the ball back with like, a little bit over a second or 2 left. And then Dickinson got that lucky ass 3, which definitely was like a foul. Like I thought he was going to lose the ball.
Well, if you watch it, I thought for sure it was an offensive foul. I mean, he literally pushed the dude with his forearm out of bounds. Like the dude fell out of bounds. Like, and then that's what made him open to catch the ball. So I don't know how that wasn't an offensive foul, but
I think there may be some problems though in where will it be, like in the tournament, because watching these Big Ten games, man, like they hit each other like so much harder than like all these other conferences.
Oh yeah,
like so things that definitely would be a foul.
I was watching this one game. It's just so funny how officials are different in each conference. It was one of the smaller teams. I can't remember. Man, what was it? I can't remember, but they were calling fouls on every possession. Like literally, they were not. Even the announcers were like, "They are not letting them play today, guys." And then you watch teams like the Big Ten, and like obviously Zach Edu 7-4 going up against Tracy Jackson Davis, and they're banging each other, they're slapping each other. The refs aren't calling anything. So yeah, that is a good point. It is pretty crazy how the refs are different in each conference.
Yeah, it's going to be curious to see how these Big Ten teams survive with fouls getting called.
See, but that's also the interesting thing is though that's a theory why the Big Ten hasn't done so well in the tournaments because they rely so heavily on their big men. Like you think of the Big Ten, they don't really have a lot of good guard play, you know.
Yeah. I don't think the Big Ten is going to do very well. I think it's going to be ugly. I mean, maybe there'll be some money like just with against the spread, but I don't see them doing very well in the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at Purdue. Other than Purdue, I mean, what team is going to make a run? I don't see any.
I mean, and then Wisconsin's going to be what, like a 13 seed probably or something. So like, I could see Wisconsin
if they make it. I mean,
yeah.
After that loss against Michigan, I mean, if they would have won, they would have been in for sure. But
I mean, what all the announcers were saying, or the people, the experts there, were saying pretty much that Wisconsin's already one of the last four in, unless they like keep losing, like regardless of that game. But Michigan definitely needed that game to have an argument.
Yeah, Michigan definitely needs that game. Well, they've been needing their game. I think they've won in their last 10. I think they're like 8-2. So they've been in win or go home mode for a while.
Because I mean, Wisconsin's not a bad team. They're just not consistent at all. So I could see
they just don't have that usually Wisconsin has that superstar that they can rely on. They just don't have that guy this year. They have that Hepburn guy, but he's still a little young. And then they have that Tyler Wall kid, but he's they just have a really young team. They'll be better next year.
Yeah, I could see them upsetting somebody in the first round, and then that's it. And then probably losing someone that they're better than.
Yeah, what's holding Michigan back really is that loss that they had at home against Central Michigan. That's like really holding their resume back. That's like one of the worst losses of any Division I team this year.
Yeah. All right. So what do we think about the slate for tonight or today?
Well, today actually starts conference tournaments. The ASUN tournament starts. So we have I don't even know Bellarmine. I don't know how you say it, but
hey, I've won money with Bellarmine before.
they're on a neutral court with North Florida. North Florida is favored by -2.5. And then same with FGCU, Florida Gulf Coast. They're at a neutral court with Queens. Queens is favored by 2. So again, these are really close spreads. These should both be really fun games. I really wish they started these games at like 12 and then like maybe 3 o'clock. They really missed a chance.
Yeah, honestly, that's the only reason I've ever bet on Bellarmine before, because they were on at like 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, like earlier than the 7 o'clock.
I'm surprised that they started these games with all the other bigger games on today's slate, because they really had a chance to. And that's why college basketball. That's why the people who run college basketball are so they're so annoying, because they never think outside the box, and they don't try to switch it up. They should have put these games earlier. Like everyone would have been watching this Bellarmine North Florida game at 12 o'clock if it was on.
So where do you think Queens University is?
Well, it says NC, so I'm assuming it's North Carolina.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, you got that one. Okay, yeah, it's Charlotte. Because I was like, Queens, what the heck is this? So yeah, for that Bellarmine game, I'm liking Bellarmine with that, however you say it. They're pretty good. I think North Florida beat them in the regular season. But yeah, that Bellarmine team, they've had a pretty brutal schedule, because they won me money in a game before. So yeah, I'm not thinking they're going to win the tournament, but this looks like a good spot for them, because I think they're +2.5 right now, and they could easily win that game.
Yeah, and I was looking at both of these games. The one I was more intrigued by was the other one, the Florida Gulf Coast and Queens. They played earlier this year. Queens won, but Florida Gulf Coast was up by 12 at one point, and that was at Queens. So this is played at a neutral court. Florida Gulf Coast has the older team. They have the more I'd say veteran coach. So if anything, I'm looking to bet these two games. I was looking at Florida Gulf Coast, which is interesting, because if you like I was talking to you earlier about the odds have sort of flipped back down now to even, but earlier, Queens was plus 1,000 or 10,000 to win the ASUN tournament, and Florida Gulf Coast was plus 7,000, and Queens was favored. So it kind of didn't make sense to me, which made me want to take Florida Gulf Coast even more. It looks like on DraftKings they switched it back now. They're both plus 7,000 to win the tournament, but it kind of seems like something fishy's up. And like I said, Florida Gulf Coast is the more veteran team, so I was looking to take them more than anything out of this slate.
Okay. Yeah. Anything else today that jumped out at you?
Yeah, actually, I mean today's slate it's a smaller Monday slate, but I mean I did play North Carolina and Iowa State money line parlay. Those are two teams that absolutely cannot afford a loss right now. North Carolina, especially at Florida State, they're 8-point favorites. Florida State just came off that crazy comeback win at Miami. They were down 25 at one point and came back and won on a buzzer beater. So I doubt they're going to have much energy in the tank for this game. So I definitely looked at North Carolina money line earlier in the day. It's risen already. It was at minus 300 earlier. It's at minus 360 now. And then Iowa State, they've been reeling a lot lately. They were 7-point favorites against Oklahoma, and they lost by 11 at home. They cannot afford a loss here. If they lose here against West Virginia at home, it's going to be a terrible loss. They've lost 3 in a row. This is definitely a bounce back spot for them. They need this game. So, and I've been looking to fade West Virginia on the road anyway. And they just had a crazy game where they only lost by 2 against Kansas on the road. So again, they're probably not going to have a lot of energy for this game, and they're already not a very deep team to begin with. So Iowa State should win this game. I would not be surprised if it's a close game, though. Iowa State always plays close games.
What's the money line with those two parlay?
I got it so I placed it earlier at Bet MGM, like right when I woke up at plus money at plus 104, but I also placed it on DraftKings for, let me see what odds I got it at. Give me 1 second. I got those two at minus 119 on DraftKings.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good idea. I think I'll parlay those two together, UNC and Iowa State, and then start out with taking Florida State plus points because plus 8, and then see how that game goes because the later game's at 9. And then if I win my money back with Florida State, if North Carolina keeps it close, then it's free money for the later game.
Right.
So I like
but
that.
Beware, I did warn you. They just had that huge comeback against Florida, so they might fall flat against North Carolina.
Well, and North Carolina just had that huge win against Virginia. So
yeah, that's true. But I mean, they need to win every game. UNC needs to win out.
Yeah, I just 8 points on the road's a lot.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Especially for a North Carolina team that doesn't usually blow teams out. So
yeah. All right.
It's always better to hedge than not.
Anything else you like today, like hockey wise, or?
Yeah, I got
Bruins, right?
Yeah, but I still have a couple more college plays to get into.
Oh, college plays. Okay.
Yeah, thanks for rushing me, though. Jeez.
Well, there weren't that many games today. I didn't think you were gonna have that many picks.
Yeah, but there's some decent value here. So again, this is a smaller one. Weber State at NAU. So this line stinks a lot. So it started off as NAU +1. It went to +1.5. And then now it's at -2 for NAU. So that's definitely signaling sharp money is on NAU, especially if you look at DraftKings splits. Weber State spread and money line have over 60% of the handle. So sharp money is definitely on NAU, and I can see why, because Weber State doesn't really have a lot to play for anymore. They've pretty much locked up the 3rd seed in their tournament. Meanwhile, the trip to NAU isn't really great. It's Flagstaff. It's high altitude. It can get really tiresome, so I can really see Weber State not really getting up to play for this game. NAU's won 2 in a row. I mean, they're not great at home, but, I mean, they're better than on the road. So, I mean, the line's telling you that NAU should win this game. So, I'm going to take NAU -2.
Okay. Yeah, let me see the big splits on this thing. I was looking the projections on the sports line.
Hmm.
I mean, that doesn't really mean anything, but they like it looks like it's about even game. Let's see here. How am I so slow on this? I don't know. You can talk about your next game while I'm looking this up.
Sure. And the next one, it's sort of a system play for us. Oklahoma State at home against Baylor. They were at +2, but now it's down to a pick 'em, signaling sharp money is on Oklahoma State. Look, Baylor's top scorer, their leading scorer, star freshman, just got hurt. He's out. I feel like they're going to struggle scoring against a great Oklahoma State defense. Oklahoma State needs this win if they want to make the tournament. If they win this game, they will make the tournament. So, like, it is a win or go home game for Oklahoma State. So, you want to back teams that are in those spots. This is one of them. Oklahoma State at home. They're going to have a packed crowd. There's not going to be an empty seat there. So, I'll take Oklahoma State, pick them at home against Baylor without their star freshman.
All right, that's quite a pick. It's a late game, huh?
Yes, sir. 7:00 my time.
Well, all the experts on Sportsline, they like Baylor. Well, not just the projection, but the experts. Yeah, I know.
They are going to prove today why they're not experts.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of the money is on Baylor and stuff too, which, as I said, just because big money is on a game doesn't mean that's the right side. That just means the book wants the other way to go.
No, and they're on Baylor because Baylor just had a big win against, who was it? Let me check who it was. Baylor, where are you at? Baylor Bears, where are you at?
Well, it's funny here because I just told you about how the top experts on Sportsline were taking Baylor, and then their projection was saying Baylor, but then the pro report on Action Network says the opposite. It says big money sharps are on Oklahoma State. It was a pick.
Well, it had to be if the line moved that significantly. And yeah, so Baylor just had a big one against Texas at home, but Texas is a terrible road team. That doesn't mean much to me. Yeah, I'm taking Oklahoma State.
Yeah, especially at a pick 'em. I essentially that means
Vegas is telling you who should win this game.
Yeah, I agree with that one. All right.
Vegas is not dummies. These last two games I gave you, NAU and Oklahoma State, Vegas is telling you who should win that game, and if you can split on them, that's fine. But obviously, we're hoping to go 2-0. But I given out what I gave out. I'm leaning Florida Gulf Coast. I'll probably play them. I told you the parlay, NAU, so about 4 picks. So we'll see. We're hoping to split, but obviously 3-1, 4-0 would be great.
All right. What else we got for today?
I wanted to pick the Bruins. It's so funny because their money line was at -140, and it's been bet down to -130. So that means some money has come in on the Oilers, which is interesting because the Bruins are the best team in hockey. So I'm tempted to just take their money line. How about you?
Let me look at that. So obviously, if it was at home, I'd take the Bruins in a second because they don't lose at home. Let's see here. It opened up. What did you say it opened at? -140?
Yeah, their money line.
So, I mean, let's see. The last, yeah. So, according to Action Network, looks like more money, and the money in the bets are on the Bruins, but allegedly 5 sharp bettors are on the Oilers. So, yeah, I don't know about that, but I mean, how have the recent games been? Did they play recently, either team?
I mean, Boston doesn't really lose a lot, so.
Let's see. We know the Penguins had a great.
Oh my God! Fuck the Penguins. I'm a Penguins fan, but fuck the Penguins.
All right, so Bruins and Oilers, yeah, they didn't play. Neither of them played yesterday.
Yeah, the Bruins won 3-1 on Saturday. The Oilers lost 5-6.
The Blue Jackets. Okay. Yeah, I might take a stab there. The Bruins. I like this.
And if not, I kind of want action on the Golden Knights Avalanche game. I love taking the Golden Knights on the road money line. It's like my favorite thing to do.
See, they're playing at the Avalanche.
Yes, sir.
Well, we should check to see if what's his face, Trent. If he's taking the Avalanche, then I will nuke the Golden Knights because he is like he loves to take the Avalanche money line, and when he brags about it, they tend to lose. It's always funny. So we'll have to check that out.
Also, our good friend Bookie gave out over 1.5 goals in Golden Knights Avalanche first period at
Okay,
minus 130.
Is that his free pick?
Yeah, that's his free pick for the day. Shout out to Bookie. What's his name on Twitter?
Beating the Bookie.
Beating the Bookie.
Yes. We want to make sure he gets his shout outs because we know he needs his shout outs. He gets very sad if people do not congratulate him on his free picks that win.
Yeah, his what of his, we're gonna give him some free promo. Since inception, his free plays are like 32 and like 11 or something like that. So go check out his page if you haven't.
And it's funny to watch his page too, because like he'll win like 5 in a row, and then one guy will bet one, and then claim he's like a scam artist.
Right? Yeah. He's like, dude, I just gave you like 5 winners in a row, and he's like, all right, I'm not giving you any more free plays.
Yeah, I don't know anything about his like packages or whatever. I'm not going to pay for any of that stuff. But his free picks, they don't lie. They're legit. So get them while they're good. Avoid other cappers we may have mentioned in the past. We won't crap on them directly, but
Right. We're just trying to keep things positive and do our own thing. But if you've been keeping up with my Twitter page, which I don't know if anybody has, but I've hit my last 2 NBA Gold Star bets, so that's been pretty nice. I'm trying to ride a streak.
Very cool. All right. So we're going to move on to the conference tourneys now?
Yeah, we can get into some conference tournament talk.
All right. So we already talked about the Atlantic Sun. What's any other tournaments you're really liking? Are there anyone starting soon?
Yeah, there's a few of them start tomorrow, but all of the major conferences start
Next week.
Yeah, next week. But let me check out some of these odds here. So yeah, the Patriot League starts tomorrow. The Sun Belt starts tomorrow, as well as the Horizon League. So 3 tournaments that kick off tomorrow. So first off, right off the bat, Patriot League, Colgate always wins. They're the favorite at minus 220, which doesn't surprise me. If you ever watch Colgate play, they are super fun to watch. They are second in the country in 3-point like attempts and percentage behind Gonzaga, which I will get into Gonzaga later. But yeah, Colgate is a really fun team to watch. They'll probably win this tournament pretty easily. The next favorite's Navy at plus 270, which they absolutely just demolished on their home court. So I watched that game in its entirety. Colgate is they're so much fun to watch. But like every one of their starting 5 averages over double digits, and then like all of them, any one of them can hit a 3-pointer. So they're just really fun to watch. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna take their minus 220 and gonna parlay it with some stuff, and might even just throw a couple of units on minus 220.
And that one starts tomorrow. That tournament starts tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I might have to put a futures in on Colgate because they're located in New York, so I can only bet on them when I'm over here in Jersey.
Oh yeah, so don't forget about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I will not forget. Okay.
Yeah. Any thoughts on the Patriot League for you?
Patriot League. I feel like a lot of them are New York teams, so they kind of like got
right. Yeah, Navy, Army, Lehigh, Lafayette, Boston. Yeah, pretty much half of them like New York teams.
Well, Navy is in Maryland, so that's not one. But yeah, like Colgate, Army. I think a lot of them are that. I don't even know. Like, what else? Is Lehigh too? I think Lehigh is. I don't know
where Lehigh is, but Lehigh has a pretty cool court or arena. I'd say it's pretty wacky, yeah. But yeah, we can skip to the Sun Belt Conference. This one's pretty interesting. So Marshall's plus 200, they're the favorite. Next is Louisiana Lafayette plus 360, James Madison plus 380, Southern Mississippi plus 450. Let me look at these conference standings real quick.
So to correct the record for Patriot League, it's only West Point and Colgate are the only ones that are in New York.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so this is interesting because if you look at the conference standings, Southern Miss won the conference because they were projected to be. I think they were last year. They were like 1 in 14 conference play, but this year they're in first place. So they're fourth. They're at plus 450 in their tournament. So then Marshall is second at 13-5 conference play. They're the favorite at plus 200. So this one's actually pretty interesting. Any thoughts from you?
Sunbelt, yeah. I like them for football. Let's see.
Yeah, they were fun to watch for the football this last year. Troy made us some money.
Has who was it? Oh yeah, I lose money on all these teams, man. I hate these teams. Old Dominion.
Well, this is their time to win you some money. But if you want to hear the rest of our conference tourney predictions, stay tuned for the next episode because we are running out of time and we want to give you our gold star bets for the day while we still can.
All right, let's hear your gold star bet first.
My gold star bet, I think I'm going to go ahead and roll with the North Carolina and Iowa State money line parlay. Again, these are teams that need wins. I'm more scared about Iowa State in the later game. But again, we're hoping North Carolina takes care of business, and then we can just hedge with West Virginia at the end. But yeah, I'm gonna roll with them. Iowa State's sort of been my Jekyll and Hyde this year, but I'm gonna roll with it. Fuck it.
All right, and I am gonna make it with the Bruins. I'm gonna take the Bruins in my gold star bet. I was trying to see if Trent was betting against them, but to totally lock it in. But I like the Bruins, so I'll take that.
Alrighty, I will go ahead and tell you on that one.
You got any last words or last word recommendation?
Man,
I'll do mine first while you think of it. So I haven't finished the documentary. I haven't finished the documentary series yet, but I just started it. It's the Murdaugh Murders on Netflix. And man, that first episode's crazy, bro. Like the guy, he's like the super rich kid, the dad controls like the whole town pretty much through like the law. And he just gets away, like literally gets away with killing someone. And then, it just gets crazier from there. And yeah, that story is just insane. Like, I don't know how this family got away with this stuff for so long. And I know the trial's going on right now.
I just think I saw that scrolling through Netflix. So I might have to give that one a try.
Yeah, just check out the first episode at least, man. You'll be like, the dude had like his own like house and pretty much like a farmland and house to like just do stuff with, like 4-wheelers, stuff like that. Like he had his like own like fishing area. It's crazy how much money and power these people had, and they just threw it all away, man.
Yeah, people are fucking stupid. People are crazy, man. This world's a crazy place, honestly.
Yeah.
But my last word. What movie just came out over the weekend? Cocaine Bear. Yeah, that movie's pretty funny, I'd say. I'd give it like a solid 7 out of 10. I didn't really have like an emotional connection with the humans, but it was just fun watching a bear on cocaine fucking people up. So yeah, I definitely go see it if you guys are in the mood for a fun 2 hours at the movie theater.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to watching that. I'll check it out too. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us today. You can check me out on Twitter at bankroll_Bill, and I will pin my tweet that you can see about how bad I was at betting on a Jake Paul fight, so everyone can laugh at it. Austin can be found at
Austin Sportsbook.
I think I said your name wrong in the last podcast, but it's cool. Our email for the podcast is thelosingstreakpodcast@gmail.com, and our voicemail line is 646-494-7185. I keep posting episodes on YouTube, so if you prefer to watch it there, even though we don't have video, check that out. We're still looking for sponsors. We're going to try, hopefully we'll have a sponsor by next time. So if you want to get your calls, make sure to leave us voicemail. Tell us what bets you liked, what bets you didn't like, what wins you had, what losses you had. We love the interaction. So if you could interact, we would very much appreciate that. Anything you'd like to add? Awesome.
Yeah, we're still new. We're still growing, and obviously the last couple of weeks we've been slacking, but we've sort of been like going through weird phases. Like obviously Bill travels back and forth between New York and New Jersey, so sometimes he's a little busy, and like this last weekend, I got food poisoning, and you know, he had the Knicks game stuff, so we've just been a little bit busy. But we're really looking forward to starting to grind and getting back up with this episode count. And honestly, the interaction would be awesome. Like it helps. Like I don't know any other podcasts that have emails and voicemail set up to listen to like fans and stuff. So I think that's pretty cool. And you know, we're trying. You know, I feel like our advice is getting better as we go along, and we, you know, find better value. But yeah, we're trying. So please give us 5-star reviews. You know, tell about us to your friends and your family. You know, we just like talking about sports and gambling.
Yep. And if you have your own podcast, or if you want to even be a guest or whatever on here, let us know. We're down to have other people talk with us. But we'll be recording again tomorrow. Actually, I don't know if we can do tomorrow night, but because I'm gonna be at that Knicks thing. But we'll figure out our next episode. But we wanted to make sure we got this one out in time for the games tonight. And yeah, good luck out there. Well, see you later.